I didn't believe it either. The idea that you could travel the world with only $100, it sounds impossible. A scam, a clickbait fantasy. But then I met people who had actually done it. Travelers who crossed borders, explored new cultures, and lived incredible stories. On budgets, most people spend on a single lunch. So I decided to break it down step by step, line by line, no fluff, no magic tricks. Just the real strategy that lets ordinary people see the world for a price that seems ridiculous. And the shocking part? You don't need luck. You just need to know the system. And in a minute, I'll show you the part almost every travel influencer hides, before anything else. Traveling the world with only $100 isn't about tricks, loopholes, or being reckless. It starts with understanding one simple truth. Travel is not expensive. Convenience is. Most people don't actually pay for flights. They pay for flying on a Friday evening during high season on the exact date they want. Most people don't pay for accommodation. They pay for privacy, hotel branding, air conditioning, and the comfort of not having to think too hard. Every extra dollar is a fee for convenience. And once you remove convenience from the equation, you unlock a version of travel that the average tourist never experiences. A world where flights cost less than a restaurant meal, where beds are found in places you never expect, where the best food, ease and tea on a menu, it's in someone's home. This is why backpackers can travel for months while others struggle to afford a weekend. They're not richer, they're not luckier. They simply learn to trade comfort for creativity. And in a moment, I'm going to show you the exact system they use. The same system that turns strangers into local guides and turns a $100 budget into something that feels impossible. But before we get there, let's break down the exact places that $100 actually goes, why most travelers overspend before their trip even begins. Here's the truth, no one ever tells you. And it's the reason most people think world travel is impossible. Your first $100 is not meant to cover your entire trip. It's only meant to cover two things that unlock everything else. Number one, transportation to your starting country. Number two, your first 48 hours. That's it. Because once you land in the right country and you use the right strategy, your trip stops being a vacation and becomes self-sustaining. This is the secret behind almost every viral budget traveler you've seen online. They're not magically finding $5 flights or sleeping on beaches for weeks. They follow one simple principle. Start cheap. Not Europe, not Dubai, not Singapore, not the places where $100 disappears in minutes. A cheap country. Because from a cheap country, the entire world becomes cheap. Flights become cheaper. Accommodation becomes cheaper. Food becomes cheaper. And suddenly, $100 stretches in ways you never imagined. In the next chapter, I'll show you the exact destinations where $100 feels like $500. Places where the cost of living works in your favor and every dollar multiplies your experience instead of limiting it. But before we go there, let me show you the part everyone misunderstands. How people get that first transportation for pennies. And no, it's not magic. It's a strategy almost anyone can use. Once they understand how travel pricing actually works, most people think flights are expensive because they search like normal travelers. But world travelers, the people who stretch $100 into another continent, they play a completely different game. There are 3 methods they use to turn transportation into the cheapest part of the trip. And once you understand these, the world stops feeling far away. Method 1. Airfares every single week, not once a year, not once a decade. Airlines make mistakes. A $600 flight suddenly drops to $49. A $300 regional hop becomes $35. A $1,200 international route shows up for the price of dinner. And here's the crazy part. These deals only last a few hours before they're fixed. That's why long-term travelers rely on apps and websites that track these glitches in real time. They don't wait until they feel like flying. They fly when the glitch appears. This is why someone you know suddenly travels the world for no reason. It wasn't no reason. They caught an error fare. Method 2. The nearby country jump. If you live in Africa, Asia, Europe, or South America, you're already surrounded by ultra-cheap routes, but most people never take advantage of them. Travelers do something different. They look for the cheapest country near them and use land borders. A bus across the border can cost less than a burger. A local train can cost less than a phone charger. A shared taxi between countries can be the price of a bottle of water, literally. And the moment you cross into a cheaper country, flight prices collapse. What was $180 from your city becomes $25 from the next one. This is why you'll see budget travelers posting insane flight prices. They simply didn't fly from home. Method 3. Positioning flights. This is the secret almost nobody outside the travel world knows. Instead of flying from your home city, you fly from the closest cheap airport. Every region has a golden airport, a place where airlines compete so aggressively that flights are shockingly low. Maybe it's not your city. Maybe it's the next city, or the next country. So travelers do something simple. They spend $10 on a bus to that airport, just to save $200 on the flight. And suddenly, that impossible destination becomes a $40 trip. This single trick unlocks more world travel than any travel hack on the internet. And remember, your goal isn't to reach your dream country yet. Your goal is simply to enter a cheap region. Because once you're inside that region, the entire global map changes. Flights become pocket change. Land borders open possibilities. And $100 stops being a barrier and starts being a launch pad. In the next chapter, I'll show you the exact regions where your money multiplies the moment you arrive, and how travelers survive and thrive on almost nothing. There are places on this planet where money works differently, where $100 doesn't feel like a limit, it feels like a doorway. Because in some regions of the world, $4 buys you a complete meal. Rice, vegetables, meat, fresh juice. $7 gives you a bed not luxurious, but safe, clean, and comfortable. Public transport? Cheaper than a cup of coffee in the West. It sounds unreal, till you see it with your own eyes. These regions include Southeast Asia, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos. Street food for $1, hostels for $5, entire day trips for less than a movie ticket. Eastern Europe, Georgia, Albania, Romania, Armenia, where the scenery looks like a postcard, but the prices feel like the 90s. Parts of Africa, Kenya's coast, Tanzania, Ghana. Budget guest houses, shared taxis, and local meals that cost less than fast food. Central America, Guatemala, Nicaragua, El Salvador. Backpackers survive here for weeks on what some tourists spend in a day. South Asia, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, where $100 doesn't just last, it multiplies. In these places, you're not living a luxury lifestyle. You're not sipping cocktails on rooftops. You're not booking private drivers or beachfront suites, but you're living fully, completely, intensely. You're seeing sunsets. You're tasting new foods. You're meeting people who change your story. You're moving, not wasting time calculating every dollar. And here's the part that shocks most people watching this. You don't travel the world with $100 by planning the entire journey from home. No itinerary, no long list of hotels, no perfect 3-month route. Travel the world with $100 by getting yourself into the right region. A region where your money stretches farther than you thought possible. And once you're there, you switch to the world's oldest travel strategy, a strategy that travelers used long before flights and booking websites existed. A strategy that doesn't just save you money. It opens doors most tourists never even notice. And that strategy changes everything. This is the part almost no one talks about. Not travel bloggers, not influencers, not the luxury crowd. But every long-term budget traveler knows it. It's the system that makes $100 last not days, but weeks, even months. It's called the work exchange method. Here's how it works. You offer a few hours of your time each day, usually simple, beginner-friendly tasks. And in exchange, you get free accommodation, free meals, sometimes free tours, sometimes even pocket money. This is the secret that keeps world travelers on the road long after their bank accounts say they should have gone home. A traveler helps at a hostel's reception desk, and the hostel gives them a bed in the staff dorm. A backpacker helps a family teach their kids basic English, and every night the family feeds them home-cooked meals. A traveler helps farmers pick fruit or plant vegetables. They get a warm room overlooking the fields. Some volunteers stay at eco-villages, meditation retreats, surf camps, or animal sanctuaries. And in return, they receive 3 meals a day and a place to sleep. all for a few hours of simple work. And the beautiful part? You don't need advanced skills. You don't need certifications. You don't need to be strong or experienced or multilingual. You just need willingness. When you use the exchange system, your $100 stretches infinitely. Because your two biggest expenses, food and accommodation, become zero. Your $100 covers your first 48 hours while you settle in. And from there, you're not spending money anymore. You're living, you're learning, you're connecting. And for many travelers, the exchange system becomes the highlight of their entire trip. Not the beaches, not the nightlife, not the Instagram spots, but with the people. The purpose, the feeling of being part of a community bigger than yourself in a moment. So I'll tell you the one thing everyone asks: how do you stay safe while doing this? Because yes, that matters. And yes, there's a simple, reliable way travelers protect themselves. And I'll reveal it next. People think the biggest fear is running out of money, but it's not. The biggest fear is safety. Is it safe? Can I trust strangers? What if something goes wrong? Every long-term traveler asks these questions. And the truth is, the people who travel for months on almost nothing aren't fearless. They're prepared. They use the same 3 rules everywhere they go. Rule 1, choose verified hosts only. The platforms that offer work exchange opportunities come with reviews, photos, and detailed histories. If someone has hosted 20 travelers, 50 travelers, 200 travelers, and every single review says safe, kind, honest, you know exactly what type of experience you're walking into. You're not guessing, you're not hoping, you're choosing based on proof. Rule 2, never accept first offers in person. This is where most scams happen. It's people offering cheap rooms, or volunteer opportunities, or tourist help. It sounds generous, but legitimate opportunities almost never start with someone approaching you on the street. Real opportunities live on verified apps where hosts are screened, identities are confirmed, and reviews protect you. If it's not verified, you simply walk away. Rule 3, always have an exit fund. Most travelers keep $20 hidden in a separate pocket. Their escape money, not for spending, but for leaving. A bus ticket, a taxi, a ride out if something feels even slightly off. It's not about expecting danger. It's about giving yourself control. And here's the thing. These 3 rules sound simple, but they are the reason millions of people, students, solo travelers, women, retirees, travel the world safely every year. Safety isn't luck, it's preparation. And when you follow these rules, the world becomes far less scary and far more welcoming. But here's the part most people never expect, the part that transforms. $100 travel from possible into life-changing, and that's what comes next. Here's the part most people never believe. Once you're in a cheap country, you can actually make money while traveling, not by getting a traditional job, not by working full-time, but by using the same methods thousands of long-term travelers use every single day. There are 3 main systems. Method 1, teaching your language. You don't need a teaching certificate. You don't need a degree. You don't need a classroom. All you need is the language you already speak. English, Swahili, French, Spanish, Arabic. Locals and students will pay just to practice conversation, not grammar, not exams, just real-life conversation. $10 here, $5 there, a few sessions a week. And suddenly the same $100 you started with lasts much, much longer. Method to skill exchange. This is where most travelers unlock surprising opportunities. Maybe you can edit photos. Maybe you cook well. Maybe you know social media. Maybe you can take good pictures, help translate signs, or set up someone's WhatsApp for business. Skills you think are small become currency abroad. Travelers trade simple skills for food, for tours, for transportation, for accommodation. It's not formal work, it's value for value. And the more you travel, the more your skills become a passport of their own. Method 3, travel content. This one is exploding. If you're already traveling, you're already living the content people dream about. And platforms pay for that. TikTok's Creator Fund, YouTube Shorts bonuses, brand deals from small local companies, affiliate links for hostels, backpacks, and apps, Instagram Reels payouts. For some travelers, their first $20 online was earned in a country where $20 pays for days of travel. For others, one viral video paid for their next border crossing. And that's the shift. Your $100 stops being a limit. It becomes a seed. A tiny seed that grows into income, and that income becomes mobility. Mobility becomes freedom. Freedom becomes your next country, your next coastline, your next story, and that's why the system works. Because once you know how to travel with $100, you never travel the same way again. Traveling the world with $100 isn't about being rich. It's about being resourceful. It's about making every dollar, every interaction, every decision count. It's not glamorous. It's not the Instagram version. There are no golden sunsets, carefully filtered. No cocktails served on silver trays. It's raw. It's real. And it strips life down to what matters. You start noticing things you've never noticed before. The warmth in a stranger's smile. The generosity of someone with less than you. The way a simple meal tastes when it's earned with effort or bartered with value. You learn to trust strangers in ways you never thought you could. You learn to trust yourself, your instincts, your creativity, your ability to adapt. You realize just how big the world really is, and just how small, how vast landscapes can humble you, and how small acts of kindness can move mountains in your heart. And the crazy part, everyone thinks $100 is too little. But here's the secret. Once you understand the system, once you unlock the exchange method, you don't travel with money, travel with value. Value is knowledge. Value is skill. Value is a willingness to give as much as you receive. With value, $100 is not enough because you don't need it. It becomes just a number. You discover freedom in limitations. You discover abundance in simplicity. And you realize that the real currency of travel isn't dollars. It's connection. It's trust. It's the story you're living while the world keeps spinning. And suddenly, the world isn't just a place to visit. It's a place that visits you back. If this video changed the way you see travel, then you absolutely need to watch my next video. The world isn't expensive. It's not the price tags, the tickets, or the fancy resorts. It's about knowing how to move through it. How to see value where others see cost. How to turn obstacles into opportunities. How to let curiosity guide you rather than a budget. You'll never look at travel or money the same way again, because once you get this, the world stops being a distant dream and starts being a playground for the resourceful, the bold, the unstoppable. So, if you're ready to see how far $100 can really take you, click over to the next video, because the journey isn't over yet.